64-bit legends. Welcome.
Legend of the game like GoldenEye, I'm more than right.
Yeah.
The perfect dark is dreams that seem to come to life. 64-bit, the shit, it's as real as it
Yeah.
gets. We can talk sports, games, and music, take your pick. Point with the news, pull up and crack a brew. Smoke one with the crew, tune in and take a view.
Watch.
We here to raise the bar from the lowest mark. Sit your ass down and listen, it's time for the show to start.
Welcome to another episode of the 64-Bit Legends. I am the best in the business, Bobby Caboose. As always, looking for that hot-ass tag.
Oh, we're just
is
tagging.
Melvin fucking Troy.
I'm just tagging right in. Just
Oh, you're not looking for the hot tag today? You're just tagging?
I'm not looking for it. No, I'm just gonna find it. I'm gonna
All
take.
right.
I'm gonna take control.
Make sure you have that tag rope. You can't get tagged in without holding the tag rope.
What is? I don't even know.
You don't know what the tag rope is?
It's on the turnbuckle.
Yeah, there's a
You gotta-
turnbuckle.
Oh, it's that
Oh.
thing that hangs off the side.
Yeah.
Is that a? Oh,
It's kind of like one of those rules that used to be kind of important back in the day, like 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
And like I don't even think it exists anymore. So that's kind of like an old reference, actually.
did they say they don't have it in the ring?
No, they do
anymore?
still have it in it.
Oh man. Well, by the way, we have a guest in the studio.
You
here.
might have heard a third voice.
Yes.
Hello, my
it-
name is the Cowabunga dude.
Yes. Yeah, we got the Cowabunga dude.
Might know him from Twitch.
Yep. Part of the Sewer Crew Plus platform. It's big right now, taking the world by storm.
Yeah.
This is huge.
Yeah,
We-
the GPS actually said that it was like an hour drive.
Yeah.
But I applied the Sewer Crew Plus to my car, and it was like a 12-minute drive.
Oh,
It
snap.
fucking blew my mind.
It solves all the world's problems, truly. I don't know why anybody wouldn't want to get in on this.
Was it on your skateboard?
No, it was on my Razor scooter.
Ah.
Oh,
yeah,
that's-
it gets good mileage, though.
That is.
Shit.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
And you could fold it up after.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it fits right in your pocket.
Anyway, this is number 76, man.
Is it
It's
76?
76 episodes.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, we're recording this now because we're doing a Twitch stream. So if you watch the stream, this is what was happening before the stream, and then this is we're gonna make this thing. It's gonna be a two-parter. We're gonna bridge it. So if you're in, because you're going out of town,
I'm going out of town.
so we're gonna give you a little taste up front, but then
we're going to smack you in the face with part two.
yeah, then part two is gonna come later.
Yeah.
Because that's how we got to do it. So you make sure that the uploads are consistent and they're powerful.
So if you got the dick in your mouth, you're going to get slapped with the balls later.
Yep.
Gross.
A week later. It's going to take a week.
Yes.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's a long dick to get to the balls.
Never had 2 weeks of dick, huh?
Yeah, that's
Come on now.
a fucking commitment.
And it's the day before Easter.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
It's Soulful Saturday.
Is that a real?
I don't know. I know it's Good Friday.
It
I
sounded legit.
Yeah.
don't know there is a name for today, but I don't know. I'm just going to go with Soulful.
I don't remember. I know there was the Good Friday. Thursday had a name too.
Thirsty Thursday
I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
I think that's when everybody was just getting wild.
or Passover.
Well, that's a
My-
Jewish thing.
Yeah, I know, but isn't
Oh.
that around this time?
I think.
I remember
so?
Tommy Pickles telling me about it, but I don't know when it is.
What's that one where they put the ash on their forehead? That one's cool.
That's Ash Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's
That
sick,
happened
dude.
a couple.
So I mean, we could pretty much cover a full week with like.
Yeah.
It's
days.
true. Yeah.
Ash Wednesday is
Wednesday.
after Fat Tuesday.
And it's before Thirsty Thursday.
Yes.
Yep.
And then you got Black Friday.
Yep.
And then you got.
But
Well, I'm just saying. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. There's a
Something
whole
like that. I don't know.
like, you know what would be great?
Manifest Monday.
I would love to do an entire. If I had the ability, if we had like a way to manipulate space and time,
Sewer Crew Plus.
yeah. I mean, if you got Sewer Crew Plus, you could do this. But if we could manipulate space and time, I would love to just take all of the holidays and just be like, let's just do it as a bulk thing. Let's just put them all together in like a
Okay.
2-week period.
We're not going
and just
down
go
this
ham.
rabbit hole because we've already fixed the holidays according to Melvin Troy, and they fucking all sucked. So you took
yeah, that's
beautiful things and you fucking ruined all of them.
That's
so we're
right.
not going down that rabbit hole again.
Well, we did. Well, those were important changes, but I'm saying if we couldn't make those changes, then the move would be just to kind of combine them all together.
T the Monster does like how he gets like all of June off for some reason.
Well, because Juneteenth.
Yeah.
Well, when you're
That's what
saying
we
this, do
figured
you
out.
mean like back to back to back, like one after the other, or are you saying like just celebrate every holiday for like a weekend?
He
No,
means
no.
every holiday at once
Like,
because he
no.
hates the holidays. He is a fucking
No,
Grinch.
I like the holidays, but okay. So just to give a synopsis of what we were talking about, it's so there's some rules that I've set on certain holidays. For example, Christmas, you get to celebrate Christmas from, I think I made the concession where you get 12 days in advance. You get the full 12 days of Christmas. You get to be in Christmas season, but you don't get to put up decorations until like the 23rd at the earliest, I think. I think that's where we landed on it because there was a little bit of compromise there. But this whole month of a holiday thing is done. And then on the 26th, you're done.
You got to get in the holiday spirit. And then some people like celebrate the next weekend because it's New Year's. Again, we're not going down this fucking hole because I can't stand your fucking holiday schedule.
I'm just so what? Like you don't like pretty lights or?
It's not about that. It's just that we need to be able to move on with our lives.
Yeah.
You know, we can't just be living in a fantasy world of Christmas for like 30 days straight. You know, it's like let's just all grow up. Let's grow up.
One day when you're like 80, if you get to that point, you're gonna be like, damn, I wish I had one more day of Christmas. Yet, I have to take my fucking holiday things down on the 26th.
No, I think he's gonna be 80 years old, looking out his blinds at all the kids having fun, just fucking talking shit. Like, goddamn.
No, I don't think so. I'm gonna be enjoying
Shooting
my life.
BBs at them.
They're gonna be too busy wasting time, and I'm gonna be like, sucks to suck, suckers. Because I'm going to be out there living my best life.
And then one little Cindy Lou Who girl will come up and be like, Mr. Troy, I have a candy cane for you. And he'll like fucking slap her in the face and send her on her way.
I wouldn't do that. Unless, if it was outside of normal holiday times, if it was like mid-November, I wouldn't.
If
it
was December 27th, he's going to smack the shit out of her and be like, bitch, Christmas was 2 days ago. You had 48 hours to give me this candy cane, and you waited to 2 days after where I took all my shit down.
No, I would more than likely, I would probably back away slowly because there's probably something wrong with her if she's celebrating that late in the season. She should know better.
This is ridiculous.
There's rules.
2 days after Christmas?
Yeah.
That's too much.
This is what I got to deal with.
We need to
all the
move
time.
on. You need to move on.
See, like I'm not against like having a cutoff after the holiday, but like putting up your lights only on the 23rd, like that's a little like you should be able to go like at least a couple weeks beforehand to enjoy the lights.
No, that's there's nothing to enjoy. It's the act of putting it up. You look at it, you take some pictures, and you take it down. Neither do
I don't do it. It's a waste of time, in my opinion.
True.
But he takes the joy out of it for other people.
Yeah, that's where I'm like,
and
man,
that's why he's a Grinch.
Think of the GDP growth this country would have if we fucking just got on top of our shit and quit wasting time with all this.
What'd you think of the Mario movie?
I didn't see it. I didn't see it yet.
I can't wait to see it, actually.
It was pretty good.
It looks sweet.
My opinion, though, I haven't seen it. It looks like a fun cartoon movie. But the original still holds a special place in my heart.
The original can't be touched.
Yeah,
Dennis Hopper as Bowser is fucking.
Yeah,
that's the gold standard.
Yeah, you got John Leguizamo as Luigi.
Yeah.
Makes Luigi so cool,
and it made no sense.
But it did.
Yeah, Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo were brothers.
That movie was terrible.
Well, that movie's great. I agree on that one.
Well, you got to think about this. Okay, let's think about this for a second. Let's be real. That movie came out right when Super Mario World came out, right? And if you played that one, it's all set in like dinosaur land. It's all dinosaur themed. You know, you have bosses that are like Triceratops. You got all the little mini Koopas now. And it was just a side-scroller game. Like, there's no real story. So now you're like, hey, this is a success. Let's make a movie out of it. Now, how do we construct a story to have this make sense? And you got to think outside the box. They didn't give you a whole lot to work with. Now, in the recent one, there's all these newer games that have like voice acting in it and stuff where they could like kind of like, oh, we kind of have a better outline. But back then it was like, we just got to make this real and we can't animate it. They didn't have the power to do that back then. So I think for the time, it was the best possible outcome for a movie based on a video game like that.
Oh, yeah. It shits on the Street Fighter movie.
Oh, for sure.
With Jean-Claude?
Yeah, that was...
Yeah, it's Guile.
Oh, my God.
That was shit.
He can barely speak English correctly, but he's like a U.S. Marine.
I just remember E. Honda getting whipped.
Yeah. Yeah, him and Balrog were captured with Chun-Li.
Yep.
The Bison captured, and then Bison took Chun-Li off to another room, and they were beating E. Honda. And I'll never forget this. Balrog looks at him, he's like, hey, I don't know how you can handle that. He's like, you know what? I trained myself to let my brain, my mind, my thoughts leave my brain or something, leave my body, and I don't have to feel it. And then he says the joke of like, "Oh, next time he does that, why don't you have it bring back a cheeseburger?" And I was like,
Yes.
"All
That's
right."
such a 90s, like, fucking- that's awesome. Yeah, and then you had Raul Julia.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
there's such a lopsided cast. Like, what?
I think he was like dying, by the way, when they filmed that.
Yeah, I
Like-
think it was his last film.
Yeah, like
That
he
was
was.
released.
I think he was literally dying of cancer, and what was so it's almost poetic because that movie was cancer. It was cancerous. It was so bad.
Yeah.
You know what was the biggest disappointment in that movie? Dulcim and Blanca. Dulcim was. I didn't even realize he was in the movie, but he was like one of the scientists working on the Blanca.
Yeah, he didn't stretch, did he?
No, he was just like a scientist. And then at the end, when everything's going to shit, he's now out of his lab coat, and now he's got all like his Dulcim gear on for some odd reason. And he's like, Guile comes down, and he's like, "You gotta go." And then Blanca escapes, and it literally. The Lou Ferrigno Hulk looked better than Blanca because he was just this regular dude with orange hair just painted green. It was so
Fresh.
bad.
Yeah. Well, what's worse than the movie is they made a video game.
Mm-hmm.
Street Fighter, the movie, the game.
Yeah.
Really?
Absolutely. And
Oh, I
it was
didn't know
basically
that.
it was like the Mortal Kombat sprites or whatever. Like,
Yep.
it just the actors from the movie doing Street Fighter. So
Yeah.
are they going to do that with the Mario Brothers? Mario Brothers, the movie, the game. Are they going to do that?
They should.
They should. That would be smart. Though. Well, since it's animated, they could do that, and they could actually make it.
Toad just looks so freaking cute in that movie.
Doesn't he just look like Toad though?
Yeah, but Toad's cute. He's a little cute guy.
I guess. I like the Toad from the original though, where he was like, they turned him into a Goomba,
Mm-hmm.
which was a
Those
dinosaur.
Goombas were weird as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I know a chick that kind of like looks like one of those Goombas. You remember in the elevator? That scene where they're like, you know, they're doing that. Like she has like these, like they're her adult teeth, but they're the tiny little teeth that don't make sense. And it's like, it took me a long time, and I was like, what does she remind me of? And then I watched that movie a couple years ago, and I was like, oh shit, this chick
It's a
looks like she
Goomba.
looks like one of the Goombas from the Mario Brothers movie. You think there's like a Toad inspired sex toy?
Probably.
Oh yeah.
'Cause
Oh,
before-
dude, Toad vibrator?
Yeah, because before we got on, we were talking about the alien.
The
dildos.
alien
I wonder
dildos.
if there's like a Toad
Yeah.
one.
Oh, I bet there is.
Like, and just for the audience, remind the audience. They should already know this, so that's why I say remind them. Remind the audience what the fucking alien dildo is.
So the alien dildo, it basically resembles the trunk of an elephant, and inside of it are it's perfectly fitting because tomorrow is Easter. It
Yeah.
looks like Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
They're huge.
like a slimy substance, which I'm assuming is like some type of lubricant. Because I've
yeah.
only seen them like online in pictures and videos.
I've never seen a video of it. I don't know if I want
No,
to.
I did. Yeah, curiosity got me on that one.
I mean, I've seen some weird shit.
It's
but
interesting. It's basically like, you know, the old school parlor trick, you know, the ping pong ball
Yeah.
popping out. It's like a mixture of that with like the dragon dildos that are popular with these chicks nowadays. So they shove this, you know, this alien, quote unquote, alien dildo inside and squeeze out these Easter eggs.
when
into their
I
body.
saw the picture of the egg looks like Super Mario 2, where you have like there's that fucking like falcon or whatever that opens his mouth and
Oh,
shoots
yeah,
the
yeah,
eggs
yeah.
out, and you have to jump on the egg and
like Birdo.
pick it up
Or-
and,
yeah, Birdo.
Yeah.
Birdo. Yeah.
and throw them at the.
That's. I mean,
Maybe that could be where it was inspired from. Because, I mean, if you think about when Birdo's mouth is open, it kind of looks like the alien dildo.
Yeah.
that's true. That's.
And
I just don't.
not to cut you off, but I feel like people that create these things are probably people that create video games and weird shit like that.
Oh yeah, I just don't understand. Like, what is the? I know, like, for the gimmick of like, oh, I'm squeezing an egg out of my asshole or my pussy. Like, this is nuts. But like,
I'm a chicken.
where's the like? Is there a pleasure associated like popping these things out? Like, I don't really understand.
I mean, maybe there's a toy inside.
Oh, maybe
Ooh, like one of those Kinder eggs.
Ooh, what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That actually, you know what? If somebody hasn't invented that, I think we should try to hurry up and get on that because
yeah.
that might be something right there. Like, because like people literally watch people open like toys and like
Yeah.
open those eggs and stuff on like YouTube videos.
You'd
That
be
could
oh
be
Skittles
A
or like
pornography, yeah, like
fucking a Pez dispenser.
or a smaller egg and then a smaller egg.
Yeah,
like those Russian dolls.
Well, yeah, the Russian.
You know what I mean? Like you could get a lot.
They're all
for your money.
fucking slimy.
Yeah, that's gross.
Yeah, that would be. But the thing is
Whole new Easter.
you got Easter, and you can even load up your decorated eggs. It could be a family affair, right? Kids.
What, to do these anal eggs?
Well, just hear me out. Watch this.
Okay,
So
I'm watching.
It's a multi-part series. So you get everybody together, you get the family together, you decorate the eggs, and then you have the eggs done, and then when the kids are asleep, that's when the adults get to take part of putting the eggs in the thing and then depositing the eggs.
I thought you were going to say put the eggs in the children.
No.
Okay, go on, sorry.
That's craziness.
Sorry.
That would be insane. So then they get to use the eggs, but then you can recycle the eggs for the Easter egg hunt later, and they can find said eggs.
In the morning, the mom or maybe dad is
Yeah.
dressed up as a bunny, and they're just shitting out these eggs.
Yeah, there you go, and it's like perfect.
They got one of those onesies with a butt flap.
Yeah.
They just fucking pull it
That's
down.
a perfect way to keep the kids believing. Too.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you want children nowadays to keep their imagination.
Dad, why does my egg smell like shit?
Because all eggs smell like shit, and just enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like, fucking.
It's the perfect thing. Everybody wins in this scenario.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, it would make Easter so much more exciting.
Instead of, I saw mommy kissing Santa Claus, it's like, I've seen the Easter bunny shit in my eggs.
That's disgusting.
Oh,
That'd be a
God.
sweet video game.
Yeah. You got to deposit the eggs.
I can picture like a freemium game.
Like, it's like a stealth game. Like, you know what I mean? You got to make sure you don't wake the kids up while you're pooping out the eggs.
So
Yeah.
now we're getting Don't Wake Daddy in this.
Yeah, absolutely. Damn, dude, it's all like come full circle. Like Mario Brothers, the sex toys,
Yeah.
Easter.
Wow.
It's all connected.
Dude.
It's all connected.
Is it by chance or is it?
No, it depends on what chip you're chipped with.
Oh, yes. They've got the chips.
Yeah.
We got to get the billionaire chip and
Yeah.
stuff.
And
I-
then,
I
then
will-
you follow a path
Yeah.
of either Mario Brothers and, everything just gets squirted out.
Yeah. It depends. Like,
Oh, speaking of squirting,
Yeah.
right before I came here, I saw, I guess Kris Jenner squirts.
wait.
She's a big squirter.
I'm thinking Kris Jenner, the
Yeah, not
mother.
not-
Caitlyn Jenner.
No.
I was like, what is going on? What happened?
Me too, I guess, if that's the case. Like,
I mean, she just got diarrhea. Like, I don't know
Wow.
what's going on.
No, I guess she was in some an interview with Howie Mandel like a year and a half ago, and like I guess the video is just now surfacing, like going viral. That she was like, "Yeah, I'm a squirter." I don't
Isn't
know,
she like 60?
probably older.
Like, I thought it
I
dries
mean, her
up
kids
after a
are
while.
like 45.
That's true. Yeah.
well, I mean, did she say she's currently a squirter or is she just?
I saw a very brief clip, and it was from Barstool, and they're like, "Why isn't this video gone viral before?"
Man,
Yeah,
that's
what kind of questions is Howie Mandel asking? If
dude. Howie
we're getting-
Mandel's in some weird shit.
Yeah.
Like he went viral not long ago because he shared a video on TikTok of like I think it was like a prolapsed anus. He was just basically like, check this out, put it on his TikTok or something. What? Yeah, and the video got taken down, and people are like, "Why did you share that?" Like,
Oh.
he's fucking weird.
yeah,
Maybe he uses these fucking alien dildo.
Oh, I
eggs.
wouldn't put it past
when I found out about this alien dildo, I googled alien dildo, and
Yeah.
like the only things that came up were like regular. Well, they looked like penises.
Yeah.
but like it would have like a reptile scale on it, or like shit like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's what they're talking
Yeah,
about.
so
And
if
then
you're, like,
he
into Game
sent
of
me that
Thrones.
picture, and I was like, what the fuck?
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly, it's like one of those things. It's like just because like I might not be into it, it's hard to think like how there are people that are into weird shit. But then you got to realize, like, dude, there's probably somebody in this neighborhood that has an alien dildo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
For
there's
sure.
somebody like, yeah, eating poopy Easter eggs on purpose in this
Well,
neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, it's like those real dolls. Like I remember I've seen those come up where you get it's like this silicone
Yeah.
doll that you can fuck, and I've seen it on like TV or I've heard like on podcasts. Maybe they'll even advertise it. They'll get it with some weird sponsor, and I remember I've looked that up and it's like they're like $2-3 grand, and I'm like,
Oh,
that's an
yeah.
investment. Like there's no way I'm just that desperate for like, because if I'm gonna spend that much money, you can pay a human for that.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the human's only once. The sex doll is
Like-
forever.
I just imagine like, hey Bob, why do you always just eat a half a peanut butter sandwich every day at lunch? And, like, well, I'm saving up, bud.
Yeah.
what What are you saving up for?
I used to deliver them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because there was one of my routes that I did when I was at UPS was there was a place called Intimate Moments or Intimate Ideas or some shit. So weekly they would get like 6 or 7 boxes, and then probably once every 3 weeks to a month they'd get one real big box with those boxes. Well, when I delivered the one, like just the regular boxes, I'd go in there and be like, you know, and there's fucking shit everywhere, right? Dildos, whatever the fuck, lube. And I asked the chick one time, I can only imagine what are in these boxes. And she's like, oh, we don't know until we open them. But there's a specific box for a real doll. Mm-hmm. And so I would go take it in there, and they would be like, okay, you could just leave that one by the door. And I was like, oh, what is it? They're like, oh, it's a real doll. And we would get, you know, like I said, probably once every 3 weeks, and they would sell like crazy. And that's why they would have to get one in almost that often.
I'm going to look. Can you sell those on eBay used?
God.
So
Probably. There's somebody desperate.
You
enough.
know, what's his name, Mike Rowe or whatever does that.
Oh,
Odd
Dirty Jobs,
Dirty
yeah.
Jobs. Well, there was a show similar to that, but it was I forget what it was. It might have been on Vice or something else. But there was a guy that his profession is to clean these real dolls, and so like they send them to him, and he'll like repaint them and like clean them all out of like jism and whatever else is in there, and send them back as, you know, perfectly new. Here's Heather again.
Like,
Oh my god!
How you remember it?
This is not what I was expecting. I just looked them up. Apparently, you can get them for under $1,000, limited offer right now from their website.
Really?
I wasn't
Special.
expecting. You know what I thought it was? I've seen like advertisements for like it's just literally like a butt, pussy, and like
Oh,
bottom
yeah,
of
yeah,
a
yeah,
toilet.
yeah.
This
no,
is like
this is a whole
fucking-
person.
and
yeah.
it's extremely creepy looking.
Yes.
like it looks.
It's like a mannequin.
It looks like
But, like,
PS5 graphics in real life.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what it looks like.
And some of them get a little, because then they'll try to make them look lifelike, or sometimes they try to make them look like an anime girl or something, which is really weird.
Shout out
What
to
if you?
Broski.
What if you? And then, so you get your real doll, right? Then you have to buy a strap on so the real doll can fuck you.
Oh my god, dude! Well, I don't think you'd have to buy a strap on because if you're already buying a real doll, you probably already have the strap
Yeah,
on. There's no way.
that's true.
You know what I mean? Like,
You pull the strap on around her waist and you're just riding the
Jesus. This one right here, Kendi plus options under $1,000
plus options.
She's got huge.
Let me
titties,
see
dude.
this.
This one's look at her.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
that's only $1,000.
yeah.
See,
900
now you're rethinking your investment.
No, but I still can't justify that. Like, there's so many better things.
Those tits look like the chick we met. Fucking hey.
Oh,
those
yeah,
are
that's
huge.
right.
Yeah, I saw those pictures, man. That was.
Yeah, well, I
I
think
don't know how to feel about that type of person, man.
They were very nice. Not the tits.
No, I'm sure they.
but
Oh, yeah.
the girls were
Yeah,
very
yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
yeah. She was. I think the one girl is either got the biggest or second biggest.
Second biggest.
Second
She said
biggest in the
second
world?
biggest in the world, and
Yeah.
she's fucking Joey Fatone.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was it? Straight Jacket was telling me, he was like, dude,
Yeah.
he's just like, homie's just over here video chatting with
Yeah.
one of the dudes from NSYNC. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, one of those chicks fucking dating. I was like, that's fucking weird. Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like as many like I always just want to always say that they were nice girls
Mm-hmm.
because like, you know, I just like making jokes about their fucking tits because like the one, it was fucking disgusting, man. Like how
It's not-
like it's not my thing. Like
Yeah.
the tit
Yeah,
like
no
there's
shit.
fuck, dude. They were just fucking too big, dude.
Well, it's from talking to them, it's like a business. Like their
Right,
body's a
right.
business, you know.
And, you know, they make a shit ton on OnlyFans and all that.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah.
that's where it's because it's on the internet. It probably looks good, but yeah, in real life, there's no practicality
Right.
to it. Like that's the problem. But if you, what's the price? You know, you want to make $500,000 a year,
Right.
maybe.
Yeah,
shit.
like that chick's tits. She was telling us that like instead because there's no bras that big and shit like that. She was wearing a dress on top, like a full dress,
Yeah.
just to cover up her tits. I'm like, dude, that's fucking insane.
Were they like strangely veiny?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yes.
picture in my head. Like
The
something
other
like that.
girls were like fucking huge too. But hers actually looked like really like, especially compared like next to each other. Hers looked really nice compared to.
Well, I think
The other
they
bigger ones.
have to put into like a shell inside to kind of keep things from.
A hero and a half shell.
Yeah, there you go.
I see what you did.
Yeah. I anytime you see someone like that and they have like the big giant blown out lips and the big giant balloon titties.
And she had the ass too.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, and that's like a newer in the last like decade thing. I feel like adding the ass to everything. It's like, what's the next step? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
is the next step? Like,
Well, you know what's interesting? I've seen it. You bring up the Kardashians. So the Kardashians kind of push that. I mean, what we're talking about is kind of cartoonish, but they kind of push the lips, the ass,
Yeah.
the tits, the whole like, and they've actually changed now where they're getting them removed. And you know what look is coming back is just the skinny girl look again. They don't have to be thick no more. Like they've removed their asses. Some of the Kardashians, I know a few of them have already removed.
I was
their
thinking
asses.
about removing my ass, so
I
I
mean-
would never have to shit again.
That would be
I
convenient.
don't know if
maybe.
that's how it works,
or
but
it would kill you. I don't know. But
yeah, I don't know if it'd be more convenient to have like what is the colostomy bag or have an actually poop. Like,
Yeah.
like all natural, but
honestly, yeah. I mean, if you didn't have to clean it all the time, like if it was able to like redigest or something, you're able
like if
to
it was just like a
recycle it.
vacuum, like
oh
You're
yeah,
done.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
all right, cool.
that'd be pretty dope.
No mess, no toilet paper. Like COVID happens again. Fuck, we don't need toilet paper. We can just
Yeah.
vacuum our assholes.
But I think that's what's coming back is like the skinny girls without having to deal with ass and all that. Where they remember back in the day where it was low cut jeans, girls with no ass, but they were skinny, and that was like that was the look.
It's like the skater girl almost.
Yeah, yeah, and that was
Like Avril Lavigne.
That's
Yeah.
what I pictured at least. Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
was thinking.
And then all of a sudden it became like mom jeans where they could just pull it up to their chest so
dude.
then they didn't have to be as
The-
in shape. They
The
could
mom
hide it
jeans,
off.
like okay, if a chick or even a dude in this manner, if they're wearing their fucking shit over their belly button, it's fucking weird.
It is.
You know, it's like a fad though. Like the mom jeans over the fupa, and then like a half shirt, even if they're. Like,
Yeah.
And I'm not
Yeah.
shaming anybody if if you're comfortable in your body and you want to show off your belly, but like it's just an interesting look. Like you got jeans up over your belly button, but then a half shirt to show
Right.
off what's
So-
left of your belly.
So you got under the tit, right?
Yeah.
And over the belly button. So you're just like showing skin.
Well,
like weird
Well, what
skin.
it's able to do, it's an illusion because it's a lot of the girls that would do that, they'll do that and then they'll show a little bit of belly, and it looks flat, right? But what's really happening is that there's that gut divot that's
Yeah.
there, but it's being hidden by.
I'm gonna
I'll
start-
give it.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna start calling him Chris Angel.
because
It's just an illusion.
It is. They're like I remember when that look started coming around, and I was noticing it.
The Chris Christie.
Yes, it was, and I was like, wait a minute. I was see these girls, and I'm like, this. You look attractive right now, but everything's like in a sausage casing. I have a feeling like when one article of clothing comes out, it's all just gonna like flow out. Like,
Yeah, you're shaped like an amoeba, really. But
yeah.
like, but you look like a presentable human being.
Yeah, like your
that's right.
clothes is like tight, it's squeezing you into a shape, and then as soon as that's a good trick, and it lasted for a while, but I think it's coming to
It's
an
like
end.
wearing a
Thank God.
girdle.
Yeah, no, it is. It's exactly like wearing a girdle.
And those are the type of women that'll be like, so sick of all these fake ass men.
Yep.
It's like, whoa.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, humans are just confused as a species. I feel like we don't know what we like. We don't know what we want. We don't know. How
It's
to
because
dress,
of
how
the
to
internet.
act.
The more popular the internet gets, the more alien dildos and feet pics and bath water and weird shit is gonna happen.
Well, all it is it's like pushing our evolution faster. I mean, these are all things that we would have done eventually. because
Right.
Clearly, we're doing them.
Mm-hmm.
We're just getting them faster because the information is being shared faster. So, like, this is the path we're
And
meant to be on. Is alien dildos. And,
what is it? Desensitizing.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
unless you're shotgunning a Bud Light and the testicles on a female can hit your, because it's like they're transgender beers now
Wait,
or
what?
something.
Oh, you're talking about the gay beers?
Yeah, they're
There's
like
trans ginger beers.
transgender.
Yeah, trans ginger beers. Yeah, that's the non-alcoholic one. That's the,
Yep. Yeah.
That's the O'Douls of.
You,
Yeah.
didn't, you didn't see the Kid Rock thing? Where
I saw that. Yeah. Where
No,
he's-
I did see. I
Yeah.
did see someone on
they were transgender.
Instagram though go into a store, take out a case of Bud Light, walk outside, and just throw it away because it was gay.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna pay Anheuser-Busch
Yeah.
to show them that I don't like their product. I'm not even gonna drink it.
I mean, it's low key. I mean, that's kind of a smart marketing move.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, even if you know, like, it's gonna piss people off, like they're gonna buy it to destroy it or whatever. That's cool.
It was so like
Yesterday,
it was, but it like the thing is, as all these companies advertise for like the rainbow gay stuff. Like that's it's just commonplace. Like every company will have a moment where they change like their username profile or whatever on their Twitter.
Yeah,
Instagram.
especially during October or whatever the Pride month is.
Yes, whenever I can never remember, but whatever that month is, they'll go do that, and it's like it's everybody because it's like it gets it out there because the people that are upset about it are going to talk about it. Like that's the way it works. It's the old school like being controversial. It's just kind of lame that that's what's so controversial. You know what I mean? It's like hey, we're going to celebrate this minority group, and people are like, I can't do that. but at the same time, you get people like Kid Rock that's out there upset about it.
He cried.
Did he really?
Oh, he cried.
Is he against it or for it?
Oh, he's against it.
Yeah,
he took his assault weapons out to his yard or something. He had like
Did he
he had like multiple cases on like a stack or something, and he's like. Literally, he like said some speech about it, and like he like tear, and then like like shot up these cases.
One single tear.
Yeah, like the Native American like like whatever.
Like, don't call me a Redskin. Don't call me a Washington Redskin.
Yeah. But yeah, he shot up a bunch of cases with his weapon on his property, and said he's not going to drink them anymore. Oh, and now, and the funny thing is this. A picture of him has resurfaced from like the 90s or early 2000s, and he's drinking a Bud Light right next to a drag queen.
I think it was like RuPaul or somebody like that.
Dude, and I'm not going to lie, like the way he's also drinking this, he's got like his lips like in a way where it's like, you're sucking that bottle's dick, dude.
Well,
like,
here's the thing though. Someone brought this up to me the other day, and because I was actually, before all this started, I was talking with someone about Kid Rock, and I was like, I remember when like
For those who don't know, it's Bob Ritchie.
yeah, that's true. And he remember when that album like Devil Without a Cause came out? That was big. That was like, and I was talking with someone. I was like, it doesn't like at the time. Some of those songs were like. Those were bangers. Those are pretty good. Now, they're a little played out, and they're like, I'm not going to sit here and just be all hype about it. But it came on. I was listening to a couple of the songs at the gym, and I was like, this was good. I remember when this was. But then he changed because he went and did the country stuff because he knew that there was more money in that. Like the whole new metal vibe was ending, and he was like, let's transition. Like he's smart. He changed with the market. And that's all he's doing with this. He doesn't give a shit about gay Bud Light. He just does this because he's grifting, and he just wants to fucking. And what's upsetting about it is, I remember when he was one of these people when it was like, oh, the cancel culture and everyone's all this like reactionary stuff. Like when people were talking about like, I'll use Trump as an example. When he first was like elected, people were like crying about it, and they're like, the world's gonna end and everything. And everyone's like, he may not be the best guy around, but I don't think we're all gonna end up.
He was the Antichrist.
Yeah. It was like I don't think it's that dramatic. Like he's only gonna be around for a while, then he'll be gone, and we'll all move on, which is what happened. And it's like, and we all looked at those people and are like, these people are silly. They're just overreacting. But I'm looking at someone like Kid Rock, and I'm like, you're doing the same thing. You're no different than these people. Like, what do you like? It's almost disappointing. It's now we've just changed the topic, and now you're the fucking goof. You're the fucking person that we're looking at. Like, hey, why don't you tone it down? The world's not going to end because the beer is gay.
But
like,
what, though? It's smart though for him to do that because like,
was the beer born gay though?
We don't know.
Well,
it's hard to tell.
Jesus Christ.
Hopefully, it wasn't indoctrinated in school or something.
Yeah, it probably went to a drag show one time.
Yeah,
and it was like, that's it. I'm a trans beer.
My suds are turning.
My suds. Inside, I have suds, but I feel like they're not that sudsy.
Yeah.
So, speaking of beer, Cowabunga, you said before we started recording, you said you had drank a couple beers, like, I don't know, whenever you did, but me and him haven't drank. No. Well,
the other night, you said
you were drinking.
Oh, okay.
You had a couple. So you drink beer regularly,
Yeah,
right? So, well, no. I drink too, man. I'm not. That's not my point. But when was the last time you had a beer?
An actual beer. It's been years.
Okay, same.
Yeah.
So I went down to opening day, and someone got me a free beer, and it was a Miller Lite.
Okay.
And it was fucking disgusting.
Oh, yeah.
And I haven't had a beer in years. And like I'm like, dude, like how did I used to drink this shit?
Yeah,
Like, I just can't do it.
It was. I had a Michelob probably like a year ago. Somebody had. It was one of these things of like someone had a bunch. It's like, oh, I'll have it, and I was like, I was looking at it, and one of the reasons I switched to off of beer is because I was like, well, I went keto, lost a bunch of weight, whatever, and I was like, well, beer is like the worst carb, hog out of anything that you can intake. So I quit that and went to like liquor, and then White Claw became a thing.
Yeah.
But if you look at a White, let me see this. So, White Claw is 100 calories, 2 grams of carbs, and then it's got out of that is 2 grams of sugar because of the alcohol in it. And the Michelob I was given was the same thing. It's the same like combination. It's all like low carb shit, but it tastes fucking disgusting.
Right.
It's.
I drank half of it, and like even to get to half, it was like I'd never drank a beer in my life.
Yeah.
It was like I was in high school, and I'm like, oh, I got we gotta fucking just drink fucking Natty or fucking Bush or some shit. Like I was like, this is fucking gross. And so we went into there was a rooftop bar downtown, right? So they had like this huge ass line, and there was like a $10 or $20 cover. So we're sitting by the exit, and we just waited till the fucking security guard wasn't paying attention, just walked in the exit and walked upstairs. And then there was like this blocked off area. We were trying to get to the bartender, and they had this party that is blocked off area. And they I got the attention of some dude over there, and he's like, "Oh, you guys need a drink?" I go, "Yeah." He's, "What do you need?" I go, "We need 3 drinks." And he's like, "Well, what do you want?" And it was like I was like 20 feet away, and it was fucking packed. So I was like, "Dude, just give me whatever." So he comes over with like 3 Miller Lights. I'm like, motherfucker, dude. And I tried to get it down, man. It's fucking disgusting.
I never liked Miller Lite. I could never do it.
Yeah.
Not even with the Vortex bottle?
What was Oh, I remember that.
The
yeah.
smoothest pour ever.
I forgot
yeah.
about those. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a fat ass. There's not many beers that I don't like. Like
So-
I'm like kind of a beer snob. Like I know like a lot of really good beers, and I'll appreciate those. But I'm also like, I'll just drink like cracked beers too. Like I don't know.
I mean, I used to do like the lights, like Bud Light, Miller Light, Coors Light, sometimes like a Molson or a Heineken or something. But like every single beer tastes like shit to me now. I was never into like craft. It was just way too heavy. Or like IPAs or when the hipsters came around and made all their own beers and shit like that. But like with him, like I fucking blew up in weight too, and I was like, dude, I gotta stop. Like
That was the easiest thing. And I will say that beer hangovers, White Claw hangovers are pretty nasty.
yeah, they are.
But liquor hangovers I can handle. Like the last 2 weekends, I drank a lot of tequila, and I'll feel like shit the next morning.
With Tequila Dave.
Yeah. He was there too. But I was drinking a lot of tequila, and then I will feel like shit, but I won't have like that nausea, like my whole body aches. I'm just tired.
Bunch
Maybe
of
I got a
saliva coming in and
Yeah,
shit.
that's what beer used to do to me. It was like a miserable hangover experience but the key is I got to stick to only liquor, like just straight liquor, no mixing it with anything, and then it's manageable. It shows you what all that extra shit in there does to you.
Yeah, I'm completely the opposite.
Really?
I can drink like a 12-pack and just be completely fine the next day, no problem.
Really?
But if I drink alcohol, like some tequila or something, yeah, I'll probably have a bad headache.
See, with the beer, I remember like having like the beer shits and stuff like that the next day.
Yeah.
As far as like my head would be fine,
Yeah.
but like my my stomach would be all fucked up. I'd be shitting all day or whatever. With the liquor or the White Claw, now it's just all in my head, and I'm like, fuck,
Can you
man.
imagine
I wish I had the
if you
shit.
drank a bunch of like really cheap, shitty beers, and then you had to like be the Easter Bunny with the thing the next day? You know what I mean? Like you wouldn't be able to like show that illusion to the kids because they'd just be
Yeah, but the eggs would be coming out so easily.
Oh, yeah.
Like you wouldn't have to force it.
your wife
Yeah.
would be so mad. Like, damn it, Henry!
You're
ruining the illusion for the kids.
You have you're in your Easter bunny suit in the backyard, just like holding your head, just like
Just
limping
sweating.
along.
Bubble guts in a bunny suit. Bubble guts in a bunny suit is an album title.
Oh man.
What artist would drop that album? Bubble Guts in a bunny suit.
That would be pretty dope. We're just a fucking. It's got to be a dude. The cover is like a dude in a bunny suit.
Action Bronson.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's like, but this bunny suit is so filthy, stained, and he's just like holding his head, and it's
Like
like
I can imagine like the bunny suit coming up to his like tits and like his stomach just hanging out and then like barely holding up the pants of it.
Pooh Bear in a fucking bunny suit.
Yeah.
You ever see Trading Places back in the day with
Yeah.
Dan Aykroyd? Remember when he was Santa Claus?
Yeah.
That's what I pictured this Easter bunny. Just
Yeah.
like fucking haggard, dirty hobos. Yeah, that's Bubble Guts in a bunny suit.
Someone needs to get on that. That's a mixtape idea.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
T.
Oh yeah,
We'll
T
get
on
get
that.
T on that. I don't know if it's up his alley, but
He could diversify.
yeah. Diversify your bonds
Yep.
with Wu-Tang Financial.
No, I think so this was to go back to the other thing about the gay beers. So I remember
Is there a name for this gay like
I just think that they just put a rainbow thing on a Bud Light can. I think
That's
that's
it.
all it is.
okay, so it's not called like gay beer?
No,
just
Well, it is now.
Well, yeah,
I
but-
mean, forever.
like we've talked about it
like
before.
queer beer.
I mean, they should have put that up. That would have really got everybody riled up. Because they gotta go. Well, because now it's been reclaimed. Like it's the Q in LGBTQ. So I think you can say queer now, right?
I,
I mean, I
think
don't know if
it's-
maybe they
I
can.
think yeah. I think
Yeah.
well, no. I mean, you should be able to say every letter. I mean, like
Yeah.
the F word's not in there.
Yeah.
not fuck, but the other F
Yeah.
word.
Well, I mean, because now you know things are really loosening up when they're just called when they start identifying as LGBTQF, and then you're like, what? What's the? Oh, really? We're just identifying as that.
It's
now.
almost like testing us. Like,
Yeah.
nice
Yep.
try. You're not gonna Bugs Bunny me with that shit. Dude. Like, fuck that, dude.
I dare you to say it.
Yeah.
And like when we fucking were in high school, then we call everyone that.
Oh yeah, dude, it was thrown around like nothing.
Like we watch those fucking hate commercials
Oh, that's right.
on MTV.
Oh, yeah. Remember these commercials where it would basically be to like stop bullying for gay people, like stop bullying. Gay
No,
kids.
we watched the anti-cigarette smoking ones.
Oh, that's a different one. There's one I'm thinking of where it's like,
Oh yeah, when they just keep saying the word.
yeah, it's just like it's like the fisheye lens walking backwards, and it's like these bully kids screaming into the camera, being like, "Oh, you're gay," or then there's like, but the topper of the whole thing is this big fat kid. He's just screaming the F word in the
Yo.
camera, and then at the end it's like, "Don't hate," and it's like, what are we doing? This is insane.
It's not, like anti-smoking cigarette ones.
Oh
Like,
yeah, that
there'd
one's
be like two kids be like, "Hey, you want to go in the bathroom?" and like
Yeah.
on all this stuff, and they're like real secretive, and you're not really sure what they're doing. Then they go in the bathroom to smoke, and they're like, "Don't be gay. Don't smoke cigarettes."
yeah, it's gay to smoke. It literally just
it
comes
couldn't
out.
have been real though. That had to have been like,
No,
No, it was
100%
real.
real.
It was
That's
from
100%
awesome.
real. Like
It was from,
early
like,
2000s.
Yeah,
wow.
they, that was
Don't
like
be gay. Don't smoke cigarettes. That was American.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
It was on MTV like all the time.
That's awesome.
And now it's like, oh, be gay, drink a beer.
yeah,
Matter of fact, have a gay beer.
yeah.
Fucking sick.
Kid Rock's all pissed. He's like, wish. It's like he didn't. Yeah, you know,
I ain't gonna have no of your queer beers over there.
yeah. He didn't have a problem when the smoking was gay, but now with the beers. Well, so my point in it was back in the day. I used to work for Budweiser, and I had to be like a merchandiser. We talked about this on a previous episode, and I remember I would always get harangued by customers in these stores because I didn't work for the store. You go to like a Walmart, and then I got to build like a display or something like that, and people would always have the same couple comments of like I'd be bringing like a big pallet of stuff out, and 10 times a day minimum, someone would be like, hey, it's a fucking white truck out in the parking lot. You bring it out there. And I'm like, oh, man.
You, mister.
Eventually, I just would just stare at him and not say anything and just keep
Yeah.
walking.
No, sell it.
Yeah, no, I'm just like, you're not gonna get one on me. But then sometimes we would like there was like advertisements that we would have to slap on the cases where it was like, oh, if you get a rebate back on like $8 off your next case or something. Or one time it was Rock the Bells was on tour. There was like discounts on tickets. So if you buy a case, you peel this thing off, you redeem it for like money off your ticket for Rock the Bells. And I remember somebody was really upset about it, being like, I don't know why you're advertising that type of music or something like that. And I'm like, oh, it's LL Cool J and stuff. Like, I guess you don't like rap music. That's fine. It was like some old guy. He was just very upset
that's
about
why
it.
because
Yeah.
ladies love Cool James.
That's
old guys don't love Cool James.
That's true.
But
I
if he
should've
drank
known.
a Bud Light, he might have switched.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
loved.
But they didn't have the queer beer.
No, they didn't have it. But so my point is I am so glad I don't do that anymore because I can only imagine the amount of bullshit that I would get where I can't believe you're supporting this queer beer bullshit.
I like how we're like in Metro Detroit, but we all get Southern accents.
Hey,
when
you get up to Waterford, they start talking like that real fast.
Cowboy hats and everything.
Oh, yeah.
That's B.
Dude, you know how many I would be in a mire and these guys would be just straight up open carrying. Like I remember this guy had a pistol about a foot long, just straight up, just on his back. Like he walked past me and then just, because it's open carry, but you got to have it open. You can't hide it. And it's this big ass pistol and he's this little old guy and I'm like,
He's gonna murder someone.
he is. It looks like he's ready to do like
A duel.
I remember seeing at a Panera in Lansing, Michigan. This dude had an assault weapon on his back at a Panera. I'm like, dude, what the fuck do you think's gonna go down here at Panera that you got to be strapped like that? Or like, what are you out in your day doing?
Yeah.
And then you're just like, I also want some soup right now. Like, I'm gonna go stop at
He's like,
Panera.
I have a coupon, and no one's taking this away from
It
me.
expires tomorrow. We got to get in.
Well, it just shows how like lazy they are because if they're already a gun enthusiast, they should already have like a concealed carry permit. Like you can just go get one,
Right.
And then you can have a regular pistol in your pocket like a normal human. Like you don't have to fucking be strapped with like, oh, I just want to let everybody know,
Dude,
I'm ready for business.
when I worked at Dollar Tree, one of my stock managers, he had like a pistol holder, but he would put his box cutter.
That's funny.
So he had like this. He would just fucking wear these tight ass denim jeans, dude. Because all jeans are denim, but like the cowboy jeans and everything, dude. It was like he had one of those fucking like. What is it, like that cowboy tie that just like, kind of hangs down? I'm like, dude,
Polo
this guy.
tie?
Yeah, I'm like, dude, this guy's a fucking.
What a trip, dude. Imagine like what his childhood had to be like to form that adult human.
Right.
That's the type of shit I think about. Like, man, what the fuck?
Like,
went
man,
down at
that
your
Clint
house?
Eastwood was awesome.
Yeah, people are tripping. I mean, if I was like a psychopath and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna go to Panera today and I'm gonna fucking just murder some people because I hate their sandwiches or whatever. I see that guy. That's the first dude I'm shooting. Probably in the back of the head. You know what I mean? Like, you're putting a target on yourself if you're fucking walking around anywhere.
Well, you're saying he's got a rifle strapped to his back. Like, what is he gonna do? It's not like he's gonna be able to quick draw it.
Did he ride in on a horse too? Like,
I don't know.
He's like fucking Arthur Morgan. He rolls up to the Panera.
yeah. Was Red Dead coming out at that time?
Yeah, it was like a triple take though. It was like you see somebody in there, it's like, what the fuck? Is this real? Like, what is he doing? Yeah, that's the target though. If you're out in public and there's a mass shooting, you're
find the
Say
person
goodbye.
with an open carry and take him out.
Dude, I'm just gonna shit eggs at him.
Yeah.
You do that. You'd be like,
As long as you don't drink any gay beer before,
Yeah.
you have, some control of
Yeah.
your sphincter, you might be able to, some velocity out of those. But if you got the loose beer shits, you know what I mean? Like, good luck getting him. He's going to get you.
Yeah, those guys are fucking nuts. And like I said, I remember there would be times I was doing that when Limerita came out, and they would come out in like the little cans, and I'd have to set up, which was a bitch because you have to build the same size thing, but they're like half the size of a regular case.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to build this thing, and people would come up, and first of all, they thought I worked for whatever store it was, even though it clearly just said across the chest Budweiser, and I wasn't wearing the color. I wasn't wearing the Walmart blue color or whatever the thing was. And they would just, and I had my little headphones in, and they would just come, and I just see their mouth moving to me, and I would be like, "What?" And they're just shouting like, "Bread, bread," and I'm like, "What about it?
Yeah.
Where is it?" I don't know.
Probably in the store.
Yeah,
Dude, like,
look in the aisles, and and I'm like, I don't work here. And then one time they were like, he was like, I was setting something up, and they were like, well, how much? What was it? They wanted to know the price, like the wholesale price for some reason. Not that he could buy it from the store at that price. And I was like, I don't know. And he got so upset about it. Like he was just like, I don't understand how you don't know that. This is a disgrace. How could you feel good about? And I just put my headphones back in and I just start working again. I'm just like, shut the fuck.
I could just imagine someone coming up to you and being like, so I called the store earlier, and my coupon expired 3 days ago, but they said they would allow it.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, huh? Like,
bread.
Yeah,
That's the shit, dude. I think
dude,
fresh
it was so common that they would just shout a word to me, and I'm like, who do you think you are? Like, first of all, even if I worked here, why would you just like
talk to people like that.
Yeah, like lettuce.
Working with the public is a fucking trip, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's those people that have alien dildos amongst us that we don't know about. Those are those people.
or their
too.
dick locked up.
Oh, yeah.
Or their dick locked up in a cage, or
Yeah.
How do you get through? Like, how do you get through the fucking metal detectors? There's a fucking
with a
cage
cock
on
cage?
Your, yeah.
Put a cock cage on. Well, I mean, you probably just explain, like, look.
I gotta just.
Be like, look, my dick is locked up and I lost the key.
Yeah.
It's locked up. What was that Akon song?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
dope. It's about that.
It is.
It's fresh. Yeah, there's all types of people out there, man. It's a real entitled society, though. Like, that's why they're like, lettuce, motherfucker, where is it? Like,
Yeah.
because they're
The customer's always right.
yeah, and they're always the most important person in the world everywhere they go, and that's the whole vibe of a lot of people.
Yeah, they just I hate dealing with the public. And unfortunately I've had to deal with it a lot throughout my life, and there's nothing more. I think though it's necessary for people to do something in service or dealing with the public during especially their young part of their life, because it'll shape you on have an appreciation
Yeah.
Absolutely.
for things in the future. Like, I've never worked in food service at all, like in a restaurant or anything like that. But I know enough of having to do other customer service stuff of what's not typically. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've had shitty waiters and shit like that where they're just like, "Are you even a human? Because you're just not. You look retarded." But at the same time, if something's fucked up, it's like I can't just yell at you and be like, why didn't you make this right? Because they didn't make it. They just
Right.
go back there and put it in order.
Right.
I remember I got in an argument with a guy at a McDonald's. And this was during
Was it Pat?
Wait, what?
Was it Pat?
At McDonald's?
Yeah.
Oh, Pat Dubla.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would never get in an argument with him. He's fucking solid.
Yeah, he's non-aggressive.
No. Pat, so this is a guy, just to give a little reference, a guy we went to school with, and he was like the guy at the local McDonald's that we would always go to, and he knew a lot of the gossip. You'd go through the drive-thru to give you the gossip.
Yeah.
Like, he would be like, oh, there's
But then he would call you Mr. your last name. He'd be like, Mr. Troy, how are you?
Yeah, he would go, and he was very polite. I think he was a little bit on the spectrum. And then you would check in on him, and sometimes he'd go back to Kroger,
Yeah.
and you'd be like, "Oh, how are you?" He'd be positive, like, "Hey, how things going?" I'm like, "Good. How are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, just wanting to die." And I'm like, "What?
Dude,
What happened here?"
I was gonna say the last time I saw him, I don't know if it was at Kroger or he worked at Subway.
Yeah.
And it was all in the same fucking strip. He just bounced.
Do you think there's a connection with the name Pat being on the spectrum? I feel like
Maybe.
that's a
Maybe.
thing.
Yeah.
Maybe. But he was like, I go, Pat, how's it going, man? He's like, well, my girlfriend just fucking dumped me, and I gotta I'm like, it's just this whole fucking thing. I go, all right, man, we'll see you later. Good luck with all that.
I got a wart on my balls. Like, whoa. Okay.
There was one time I was with a friend of ours who he was in a relationship at the time, but it was really rocky. And me and him, we went through the drive-thru. We saw Pat, and he was like, "Hey, wow, I see. I just saw your girlfriend so and so come through here with this other guy." And he was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, say hi to her for me." And
He's like, I sure will.
he's like, "Dude, Then I was like, oh shit, we just uncorked something. And then he was like flipping out. And I remember Pat goes and he comes back with the food. And he's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that, huh?
Jesus.
And he was like, yeah. And yeah, that relationship ended shortly after.
That's amazing.
You know,
Pat sounds sweet, dude.
yeah, Pat Dubla. We'll
Pat
call him
Dubla.
that for now.
Dubla.
Yeah, that's
I dig it.
The McDubla.
yeah.
But yeah, like, oh, when I saw him at Subway, I go, oh, Pat, you're not working at McDonald's anymore. He's like, I go, it's, you know, at least Subway's a little healthier. And he's like, I can make anything fucking unhealthy. I'm like, Jesus, man, I'm trying to give you something.
But what's so crazy is he was a very, like, when you talk to him, his tone is like very positive.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you talk to him about him, he's just like, you know, life's a misery. Like, we're
Fuck
just,
me, right?
yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, I think everybody knows somebody like that.
But then he'd be like, you know what? I hope you have an amazing day and all that stuff. And we're like,
yeah,
all right.
good natured about everyone else.
Yeah.
but yeah, just
It's a low outlook on himself.
Ugh.
But no, what was I going to say about Pat Dubla? Oh, no. So I got in an argument with a guy at a McDonald's.
yeah.
And this was, I don't know. I think this was right when like the COVID stuff was popping up. So people are a little on edge in general. And I understand that people are a little weird. So I go there for breakfast and I get the, I forget what sandwich I wanted, but I didn't want cheese on it. Simple request. And I say, hey, can you just not put the cheese on the thing? And then I get it. And I look at the thing once I get the food and there's cheese on it. So I go, and I just want it right because McDonald's breakfast, you have a time limit, right? You can't, it's a rare window when you get to have it. So I'm like, listen, can you just remake it without the cheese? I'll wait, you know, whatever. And man, this guy, he's like, well, I see here on the order, it doesn't say without cheese. I was like, well, I said that. He was like, yeah, but there's a screen and it's supposed to say it. And if you need to be looking at that. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you, but I said without cheese. I didn't know I needed to double check your work on this.
Right.
And this guy was just flipping the fuck out. And I just had to, I wanted to like, I was sympathetic because I'm sure there's a bunch of fucking shitheads that
Right.
bitch about everything. But I felt like I was still kind of in the right.
Right.
Because I didn't do anything wrong, and it took me all my restraint to just not be like, why the fuck are you being a shithead right now?
just make the fucking just remake it.
Just remake it. And in fact, it's even easier because it's just like fucking egg sausage biscuit. That's it. It's a
Yeah.
simple fucking sandwich. But that's what I mean. Like, I think it's important a lot of times for people early on to have to do some sort of work with the public so they can appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, especially like the next generation of people that are like growing up into adults right now are like the tablet kids that have no social skills at
No.
all.
Yeah.
Like, dude, one of my nephews, he's like 16, and he'll talk like kind of like this to people face to face, and it's like, I don't know what the fuck you're saying, dude. You got to speak up. I was just saying, because he doesn't have real conversations with people.
Right.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
like everything he does is like on his phone or on his video games or like. Plus, you know, you got all the online schooling after COVID. Like, they don't get snow days. They
Right.
just get home days where they work from their computer now
Oh, yeah.
or whatever. And, like, that's the next generation. A lot of these kids, they're going to fucking be shocked if they get thrown into any job with the public, like retail or
There's-
customer service and any type.
I had noticed, and it's even with people like in their 20s now. I've heard like, I watch like these streamers and stuff, and they'll do like Discord call-ins, and I'll hear these, I call them kids, talk, and they always seem to be marble-mouthed. Like they don't know. And I was always like, what is this weird accent that all these kids seem to have? And I realized it's because they don't talk.
Yeah.
They never get to talk. So now they're in front of like an audience, so they're a little nervous. And now they don't know how to form their words. And like it's hard to describe, but it's almost like a slurring that happens. It almost seems like they're drunk, or maybe there's like a mental deficiency there. But I was like, it can't be this often. Like,
Yeah, and it is. Well, what I think it is, I mean, it doesn't mean there's a lack of intelligence. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, their brain's working
Yeah.
probably faster than they're able to spew out whatever they're thinking about. So they're just stumbling over their words. And like you said, being nervous at the same time, it's like a combination of, it's a lot of what kids are nowadays.
yeah, they just
No
don't.
social skills, like face-to-face at least.
I just can't stand when you're at a restaurant and there's a kid fucking screaming and the parents don't do shit. Like
That's another thing.
when
yeah.
when I was a kid, like I would be acting up in a restaurant. Like my mom would take me out to the car, and my dad and my rest of the family would eat, and then my dad would come out, and my mom would come in to eat if I was still fucking acting up, and they would take me out of the fucking restaurant so other people weren't being disturbed.
Yeah, they're courteous to other
Yeah.
people around them. Yeah, I don't like fucking kids, even if they're behaved. Like, I don't want to see kids. I don't like
Yeah.
kids at all, dude.
No, yeah. neither
I
do
mean, and I'm not trying to be a dick. I just legit don't like kids. Like,
No, and I knew as a kid when that happened. Like, number one, yes, my parents were being courteous to everyone else to take me out. Not that I was much of a
No,
problem, but it
maybe
would
once
happen.
or twice
Yeah.
or whatever. But like,
but I also knew that if I'm going to the car, there ain't anybody else around. So now there is no like I'm gonna get away with anything.
Yeah.
Like if they're gonna hit me, they're gonna hit me, and then I'm gonna have to suck it up, and then I'm
Yeah.
gonna come back. Like you're just gonna. So then you knew you're fucking. You're like, don't, because then all they had to say is like, do you want me to take you to the car? And I'm like, no.
and it's not ending there. When
No.
you get home, it's
Yeah.
even more.
Yeah. Instead of just ignoring it, like I've seen it too, where it's, or in the store where the kids are going just buck wild. And either the mom is just constantly yelling at them, and these kids are like, you yell at me all the time, I'm not listening. Or they just don't say anything.
ignore
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're both terrible, though. Both are bad options.
Or they'll pull out their phone and videotape their kids doing stupid
Yeah.
shit, and you're like, dude, like, you're gonna just teach your kid to fucking try to go viral now? Like,
yeah. I'm so glad that didn't exist when I was younger. I was.
the dumb shit I would have probably posted, man.
Well, so what's crazy is. It's that exactly like.
I mean, I'd post dumb shit now, but it's for a purpose.
Check it out, World Star, my dad's Easter Bunny.
Yeah.
My dad's shitting out eggs.
He's drunk as hell again.
But
Social services.
the
What up?
there was this thing I was watching, and it was this big drama, like a streamer drama in these like communities I watch. And what was basically happening is it was this girl, she's like 23. And her problem is she was getting on these big streams and talking and trying to, these are like debate type audiences, so they argue about different topics all the time. And she would just act like an asshole and wouldn't take a position, and then she was just pissing people off. But the problem is then you're like, I like to watch reality smack young people in the face. So that's why I like watching this stuff, because it's all these people in their 20s and they want to argue about things. And I'm like, then there's usually someone that's maybe around 30 and they're like, no, you're dumb. I'm going to teach you about life. And I'm like, yeah, I like that. And so I was watching it, but then it became this huge drama. And at one point I realized like, oh man, she just doesn't know how to recover from this. Like she dug herself a hole, but she doesn't understand to be like, maybe I should just go away for a while and then come back like 6 months from now and then be like, hey, I was dumb and I don't know what I was doing. But she's trying to like constantly like try to fix the situation in front of thousands of people. And it's just making things worse because people want to dogpile and be like, you're a dumb bitch, whatever. Because she is kind of annoying. And I know that like I was lucky. I think we were lucky that the only thing we had, I didn't have anything other than AOL Instant Messenger in high school. But even then, it was just MySpace.
Right.
In MySpace, you had to have a computer to get there, so automatically nothing was being shared everywhere.
Right.
Like it wasn't until I was in my mid-20s before Facebook became available on your phone.
Right.
And you can just post stuff willy-nilly. And at that point, I learned enough about life where you don't have to say dumb shit. Like I'm so glad, because I know I would have done some dumb shit. I would have done some really dumb shit. Like I looked at old Facebook posts on my old personal account, and I had to private because, again, going back to like what acceptable language is nowadays was not the same back then. And I was like, oh yeah, these are not gonna fucking stand the test of time. We can't have this floating out here.
Yeah, this next generation of kids, man, it's going to be interesting to see like when they're fully developed adults in like higher spots in the society. Like, what the fuck? Like,
Well, they're gonna rebel. So kids always rebel. So they're gonna rebel against this gay beer, and they're gonna be like, "No, man, we want our Bud Light back."
Yeah, we want Christ Light. They want
Christ
well, you know what
Light.
they might do is because they grew up with so many electronics and like tablets and like video Roblox or whatever, all this shit, they're probably just gonna go the opposite way and like put crystals in their butts and like, you know what I mean, like walk barefoot everywhere. You know what I mean? Like natural, man.
So I guess I heard the other day that there's the flip phones are actually coming back.
Yep.
For Gen Zers.
I've heard about that. Yeah.
Because they want to get a little less screen.
Yeah, they want a little bit, and plus it goes back to not everything's so public. So now you're back in the old-fashioned thing of, hey, you want to be part of the conversation, you have to have my phone number.
Yeah.
Like you have to have this one thing, and we have to talk directly. You can't be just in a group chat.
I dig that, I guess.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at that.
No, I think that's better. I think that's another thing. I was watching some videos where I guess these parents, it was on TikTok, where they're taking the modern technology away from their kids as like punishment for long periods of time. And I was watching where they don't have any cell phones, so they have to use house phones, and they're fighting over the house phone. And I was like, wow, that's right. I remember that, where you're arguing about whether or not you can get on the phone or not.
Dude, I fucking dial up internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
somebody used the phone while you're on the computer, the fucking internet.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember one time I was over at Moose's house, and this was back when I was in high school, and I was supposed to call my mom to have her come pick me up, but she was on the internet, and I couldn't get a hold of her. So I had Moose's parents driving home because it was getting late. It was like 10:30 on a school night, and they're like,
can you leave?
I'm like, I can't get through. Someone's on the internet, and then find out she wasn't even on the internet. She just forgot to unplug it.
No, that's fantastic.
So she just left it on. And she was mad. She's like, "Where have you been?" And I'm like, "Waiting on you. Where have you been?"
Oh,
yeah,
man.
but that was, I don't know. It was a little simpler in a way because there wasn't this constant. There wasn't this constant like everything's available at once. I realize this where I have like video games, for example. I have consoles of all kinds, PC game, and you can get games pretty cheap now. Like digitally, they always have these sales where you're getting like 50 games for like $1 a piece type of thing. And I remember as a kid, I'd have to sit on the weekends, and I'd wake up and I'm like, oh, I want to play some video games. Which ones do I do? Like, well, I only have these 10 for the 64. And I don't know. Maybe I'll do this one. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know. Now I have so many choices where I'm like, I don't know. It's too much to take in. I guess I'll just go back and play the free games that I don't have to
It's
pay
like
anymore
watching
for.
a fucking movie and going through all the fucking apps and looking through every fucking movie, and you're like, well, I just went through 3,000 on HBO.
You spent 2 hours looking for a movie.
And I'm like, well, now I gotta go to,
Well, it's that instant gratification of the culture in general. Like everything that we want is at our fingertips now. You know what I mean? And everything is immediate. Everything's now. Everything's, pumping those happy chemicals in your brain. So everything is just like, there's it's like almost like every kid nowadays has like extreme ADHD or something.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like nobody can sit still and like, I don't know. It's interesting. It's one of those things that's like, these kids are, obviously people evolve. It's like, I'm sure that they're learning a lot more than we would have learned as kids in some aspects, but it's like sacrificing like social interaction. So like, that's why there's this weird question. Like, what the fuck are these kids going to be like? They're going to be super fucking weird.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, like it used to be kind of like a joke with, like all athletes would either go into like criminal justice or like communications because it was looked upon as like an easy degree, right? And now the communications degree is becoming more and more valuable because people can't fucking communicate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
That's a big thing because I have a communications degree, and that was something I learned early on. Is that life would have been so much more harder if I didn't know how to like talk to people or like handle myself. And because I remember when I was like 18 years old, I remember I couldn't talk to people, not like regularly. Like I was able to talk, but I couldn't handle myself in like a professional environment, or I didn't know how to like. I remember one of my first real jobs was working for Budweiser, and they would just back then that you have a route, and this was before GPS was like affordable, and so they just gave me, and I had a flip phone, and they gave me a map, and they gave me addresses, and they're like, oh, look it up on the map, and go there, and you have to get it done by the end of the day, And then you go to these stores and you don't know where all the shit's at because everything's a mess. And then I'd have to talk to some cranky old man who's like a receiver in the back. And then I'd be like, I'm afraid to talk to this guy because he might yell at me. And eventually you just get so pissed off because you want to get done and you just don't give a shit if someone's being rude to you or being an asshole because you're so mad you're just going to be an asshole back to them. And again, it's like unless you're put in those scenarios, you don't learn how to do that.
Right.
I think that's
you got to get thrown in the deep end to learn to swim. Like.
Yeah. And I don't know. Like, I realize that with young people I've worked with over the years where they can't seem to handle that. Like, they won't they won't do confrontation. They would rather sit in their little, like, bubble and stew about something. And because it's on the internet. And all these conversations happen in the public, so you can like almost, in some cases, you can even search what people are saying about you. Like you can go, and you can like keep an eye on like, but here's the problem: you get into a rabbit hole of that, and it's never ending. You're always like, it creates like a paranoia.
That's why you get like half of the fucking celebrities out there that just delete all their shit. And they're like, all right, well, I'm not going on social media anymore. Like
and that's if you have big enough circle on some of these like Facebook or Discord or whatever the thing is, you can spend all day looking at that stuff.
Because regardless on like how famous or whatever, how popular you are, there's always going to be negative shit said about you online. Yeah. Like that's why, like they're even they just some country. Which country was it? I forget which country it is. They just put in a law, or was it a state? It might be a state. I don't know. Someone just put in a law that you can't go on social media until you're 18.
Oh, I heard about this. I don't know. I know what you're talking about. I don't know where that's at.
Yeah, it's either a state or a country. I forget. But someone passed the law.
Yeah, I know China has the rule where like they have mandatory time limits for children on social media. They only get like a couple hours, or like video games. No, it's video games. They get like an hour a day.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And that's it. And it's like, all right, that's a little bit much. Like, at what point though do we not like have a little self-responsibility? You know, where we're kind of like able to monitor that? Because I remember my parents were pretty good at like, hey, no more. Or it was the classic thing of, especially summertime when I'm not in school, and they'd be like, you gotta like leave the house. Yeah. And I'm like, well, I want to play video games. They're like, too bad. Get on your bike and go.
Yeah. See, my mom would be always like, I could play video games for like 6-7 hours, but my mom always knew I would be going outside eventually because I play a lot of sports and shit, and I like being outside. So like, she never got worried about me being just playing video games for a while. She's like, all right, he's gonna go outside.
Well, I
gotta
think
get sick of it.
I think they just wanted to be out of the house. So they just wanted to have the peace.
I assume I'm probably a little older than you guys. I feel like we are like the last few generations though that was like a good balance of like video games, inside stuff, and outdoor stuff.
Yeah.
Like nowadays, like my youngest nephew, he's like 9 years old, and he doesn't like to go outside to do anything. He doesn't play anything outside. And this is something that blew my mind. I asked him, I'm trying to make small talk with a kid, and I don't fucking know how to talk to kids. I'm like, so you watching any cool cartoons lately? No, I don't. And he's, open mouth breathing, looking at his tab. I don't like cartoons. And I'm just like, wait, what? You don't like any cartoons? He was like, no, I don't watch cartoons. I'm like, what do you watch? And he tells me he watches, some family that has like a YouTube channel. He watches this family. And I'm like, all right, so let's watch some of it. And it's like these spoiled brat kids, and all they do is just like get toys and play with like brand new stuff. And it's like, wait, you enjoy watching this? Like, what is this doing to your brain, dude? Like, this is weird.
Well, and it's not just, this is the other thing that happens too, is they'll do multiple things at once. Where like back in the day, we had just a TV. You could watch TV, you can play games on the TV, but it's one or the other. You couldn't do both. And you didn't have two TVs in a room. That'd be crazy. But now, with a computer, you can do all that. Like, I even do it. Like, I'll sit and I'm like, I'll play some game, but I got like a YouTube video going on in the background.
Well, shit, fucking Kowalski, you would have like 5 things going on.
That is true. We had a roommate.
Like, because we used to have 3 TVs on the wall. And
like a sports bar, yeah.
Yeah, he would have his video game going on. We'd have the main TV going on something else. Then he'd be on his phone and his tablet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, like, how the fuck
Dude,
you?
and the volume was cranked on all of them. Like you have like a sports game, but then you have Kitchen Nightmares blaring on his phone, and then he'd have like some other sports game on this thing. Yeah, and he'd playing a video game. And I remember I'd be like, "Hey, what's going on?" And he would just kind of like grunt.
Grunt.
Yeah, I'd be like, and I'd be like, "I'll just leave you alone.
Yeah.
I'll just not."
You seem pretty into your shit.
Yeah.
But no, like even having like the TVs like that, like I now like when I'm playing a video game, I'm like, man, I wish I had something to watch while I'm playing this.
Yeah, because it's not enough.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't watch a lot of regular TV. A lot of what I watch is like YouTube and
Same.
podcasts and that. And I like, but it's always passive because there's not much interesting to just watch. You kind of listen more so. And so yeah, it's either video games or I'm doing stuff around the house, like I'm cleaning or something.
Dude, if I'm watching TV, and I watch a lot of TV, I'm on my phone 90% of the time too, and I'm like just scrolling through shit, and like the TV's in the background, and just I just need it as like background noise.
Yeah, yeah. I can't even like. I think I was talking with someone recently, and it's like I haven't watched. Every now and again, I'll watch a movie or a series or something like a limited. I like the new thing where they do a limited series, where it's like it's a show, but you just get the one season. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that's good.
Like they're coming out with 2 more Dahmers, not about Dahmer.
Oh,
but,
okay.
it's called like the Monster, and Dahmer was the first one.
Oh.
They're coming out with 2 more.
It was one of them going to be Gacy.
I'm thinking so.
I'm hoping that one looked pretty interesting. Did you see the Dahmer thing?
No, I don't. I honestly like. I rarely watch anything like series, movies.
I'm pretty. Yeah, like I think the last 2 shows I watched were ones I started years ago and never finished, and then for whatever reason, either I was sick or I wasn't able to do anything else. I would like just sit through it. It was like last year was Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
and then this year was Better Call Saul.
Okay.
And
we're on the same shit thing. I literally those 2 shows are my most recent.
Yeah, and but in a lot of times like I'd have to rewatch what I already saw to catch up, and I would just put it on my phone and do the thing like it would be background now. And then when you get to episodes I didn't see, then I'd sit down and watch it. And then Dahmer was one, but then I get frustrated because I could tell they pad some of these where they have an idea, but they don't. They want to make it into like a 10 episode thing, but they really only need like 5. And so the Dahmer one, I just started fast forwarding through episodes.
Yeah.
Like I was just like, I'm only watching when Dahmer's on the screen, and I would fast. Like there was that whole episode about like the deaf guy, and I was like, oh, I see what they're doing here. I really don't care about the deaf guy, so I'm just gonna fast forward.
But I guess like in the real Dahmer story, I guess the deaf guy was a kind of a big deal about his because he actually tried to date the guy, I guess.
Yeah,
But then he killed him
yeah.
because
I
he was
don't
deaf.
I don't know why, but like that stuff never really interested me.
What serial
Like
killers?
serial
now?
killer
Oh,
stuff.
dude, I could watch this shit all the time.
Horror movies. Never been into horror movies.
I'm not
like,
into so I'm not really into horror movies. I like the Halloween and shit like that. Like Halloween's like the only series of that I actually do like. But the serial killers, man, like I could watch documentaries on serial killers and shit like that all the fucking time.
Yeah.
I don't mind some of them, but what I want is I have like the curiosity of like what's the thought process
Yeah.
behind it. Unfortunately, though, a lot of these documentaries are just very surface level. They just
Right.
tell you that because they don't know, they don't have the information,
Right.
and so that's where like I'll start watching half of something, and then I'm like, oh, this is just like I watched there was some Netflix documentary about John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah,
'Cause
I
I
fell
s-
asleep during that.
Yeah, because they hinted at it with the Dahmer show, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember that guy. What was his crimes again? Like, what was his thing? And I was watching it, and I was like, all right, this is all like they're just giving me news headlines.
Yeah.
like I thought maybe you'd give me a little bit more. I could
they
get
they
this from
gave-
Wikipedia.
they gave-
article.
It's like clickbait as a show.
Yeah,
They gave some of the like the interview that was recorded, but then it was a lot of just like, oh, look at what the Free Press said about this.
yeah.
You know, I noticed that in a lot of shows that I've watched or tried to watch at least recently. It'll be like a main story that's like, you know, that's what keeps you connected to the show. But then there'll be like 60% just like filler shit.
Mm-hmm.
And like even Breaking Bad. Like I went back and revisited that, and that's like, that's a great show. But like there was like a lot of scenes that they're just like filler.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't remember this being so padded with like just nothing that didn't help the story, doesn't develop characters. And then it's like nowadays, like, dude, I was watching The Mandalorian because I watched the first couple seasons and this new season's coming out. And I'm watching like every single episode is just like nothing but filler and the story goes nowhere. I'm like, what the fuck? They're making so much money off of nothing.
I did that with the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. Like, I'm not a huge Star Wars person, but I watched the original ones. I've never watched the new ones, but I was like, oh, okay, I know the original trilogy and the prequels. This is supposed to bridge it. I understand that, so I can watch this. And it's like 8 episodes, 45 minutes apiece, but the actual episode length is like 30, if that.
Right.
Like, it's 10 minutes of credits.
Yep.
The opening is, of course, you got like, hey, this is what happened in the previous thing, and then you have this episode. So they're like even padding the. I was like, this is really just a 3-hour movie. Like, I did the math on it of I went back and like found the start and end times of the actual show. I was like, this is a 3-hour movie. You made it into a series.
It was supposed to be a movie. I think the concept originally was going to be a film, like a full feature-length film, like they did the Han Solo thing.
Yeah, it would have been better if
Which
they
was
just did that.
horrible. I don't know if you saw that.
No,
Did you see that?
No, I'm not a Star Wars guy either.
Jesus Christ, dude.
I heard it wasn't good.
It's so bad, dude. Honestly, like all of the shit they've been putting out, and like even, and this is like guilty pleasure shit, like those Marvel shows and shit. They're so basic and so cheesy, and it's just like the most plastic shit ever.
Yeah.
It's like, man, they are really raking it in with like no effort.
Well, yeah, it's just filler. Like, it's not. They're just like, we need to put content out so people keep paying the subscription. And now they do the thing where they don't do the Netflix model where they dump it all at once. They'll be like, we'll give you a couple episodes, but then they'll be on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I feel no, don't do that.
Well, I used to think it was cool when like Netflix would drop a whole series, and I'm like, hell yeah, I get to watch this whole. But then it's like what was it? I watched this show Dark. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's a Netflix show. It's like a German. I don't know. It's like a time travel show. It's fantastic actually. It's like one of the better shows I've ever seen. And I watched the first season, and then when the second one came out, I just binged the whole season in like 2 days, and then it was like, oh fuck. I didn't pay attention, or I didn't stop and think about what happened in any of the episodes because I was immediately on to the next one. Where it's like if you watch a TV show and then the next episode doesn't come out for a week, you either watch it again or at least talk about it or think about it, and like, you know what I mean? And
That's a good point.
You soak it in a little bit more. Whereas if you're binge watching it, you're just on to the next. You almost like delete what you just watched.
See, I'll watch shows like I just watched Boardwalk Empire. I watch shows like years after because when it comes out, you got to wait for each episode. I'd rather just binge it and see it. But 2 is people fucking they overhype these shows, and then I'll watch it. I'm like, well, it's not as good as so and so said.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for that. I'm not gonna lie. I fall for hype.
So like, I like to watch it when there's no hype, and I'm like, oh, like I think you, my brother, and Vince had all told me about Boardwalk Empire. Same with The Wire, and I was like, these shows are good. I'll watch it way after. Like,
there is like a quality control issue with these shows now, where there was a period where there was a lot of good quality shows. Like, I'll use The Sopranos as an example, and because that was one I had to watch as it came out, and I would rewatch previous seasons when a new season would come out, so I'd get myself caught up. So by the time it was over, I knew all the previous episodes so well, and then years later, once it was all done, I binged it all the way through, and I got so much out of it. I was like, oh, I could really appreciate all the subtlety and all the work that went into this.
Sure.
And same thing, with the Wire and stuff. And now, I agree with you. Like, it is good to kind of take it in these smaller chunks, and it's you almost want to go back and like watch it again. Like The Boys, for example. I like The Boys. I think that they did a good job with that, and I know that it's been long enough. When the new season comes out, whenever that is, I'll probably have to rewatch the whole thing again, and because it's a well written show. It's like a good quality show, so it's worth it. But there's other ones where I feel I get suckered in on, like The first one that I ever came across like this was Sons of Anarchy. I remember everyone was like, "Oh, dude, you got to watch it. It's so great." I watched the first episode. I was like, "Nah, I'm good."
Well, that's how I got
This
with the
is-
Game of Thrones when you and Kowalski watched the fucking 2 episodes that I've seen, and I'm like, and I know there's like build-up episodes.
Yeah, you watched some of the boring,
and I'm like,
Yeah.
the fuck, like I want to watch this.
The Game of Thrones was one of those. Have you seen Game of Thrones?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so-
I love the show. I've read the books and everything. So
Yeah, I mean, the show is great. And in the earlier seasons, the pacing was a little tighter, but then toward the end, they really kind of
Yeah.
like, which I get some of it. You're building these very intricate stories, and so then it leads up to this big battle and all this stuff. And I felt that was one that you really had to go watch it when it came out. You get a general idea, but there's so much going on. You have to watch it again
Yeah.
to get all the little threads.
all the little foreshadowing and
Yeah.
yeah. Well, and the thing with that show is the producers only had so much source material.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Once you get to a certain point and there's no more actual source material, that's when I feel like the writing and the quality of the show just kind of went down.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not one of the haters where it's like a lot of people are like they hated that last season. I didn't hate it. There was a couple loose ends that they never tied up and a couple story things that just kind of got dropped off. But like, but that's a show that's so big, it doesn't matter how it ends. People are not going to be happy because it's ending. You know what I
Right.
mean? But yeah,
And you never really know like the backstory if it never got, if it wasn't going to get renewed and they had to like, put something together where it's going to end. Like I know shows do that and people don't understand that. And
Well, Game of Thrones, I remember everyone talked about how bad the ending was. And at that point when it actually did end, I was like 2 seasons behind. And I was like, I didn't even want to take the time to catch up on it because everyone was shitting on it. And so I didn't actually go watch the final 2 seasons until last year. And as I'm watching it, and because I've watched probably the first 5 when they came out. I binged it all at once up to the 5th season when that came out, and then I stopped watching. And as I was watching it though, those last couple seasons, I'm putting it in my head of like, okay, what are the possible endings? Because I was lucky that no one actually spoiled the ending for me. Surprisingly, I don't know how I survived that, but I didn't even know. But I was like, all right, logically, how is this going to work itself out? And I was like, okay, so it's got to be. Daenerys can't be it because deep down inside, she's not. She's going to get control and she's going to be a tyrant. So that can't work. That's not going to be a happy ending. They can't leave it like that. Jon Snow isn't going to be able to do it because he's too weak. He's going to let her rule anyway. He's not going to just, take the throne anyway. And then I was like, I would love Dinklage to be in charge, but he can't do it. That's too crazy. And as I worked my way through, it's got to it's got to be the paralyzed kid. It's got to be him. And then I get spoiler alert. It is. So
thanks.
yeah,
it's been
tough shit if you haven't watched by now. Though.
it's been years, dude.
Yeah.
It's been years. So
God damn it.
so I get this. Like the last season, halfway through, I'm like, no, it's got to be I can't remember the kid's name. Bran. It's got to be Bran. It's got to be him. He's got to be the one who gets to be in charge. And sure enough, that's what it came out to be. And I was like, okay, this makes sense. And the only bitch about it I had was there's that one episode where Daenerys goes crazy and is like with the dragons just burning everything. And they made that like, I think it was like a whole episode. I was like, this could have been about 15 minutes. Like we didn't need to keep, on with this. You're really kind of milking this. That's my only complaint about it. I was like, no, I this. But again, though, going to your point, like when you're watching it at the time, the ending's always going to be going to upset you. Because I remember when The Sopranos ended, I remember I was watching that live. I was also have the DVR ready. I was like, oh, just in case for whatever reason I missed something, I go back and watch it. This is huge. And if you know the ending, at least, I mean, it's been almost 20 years, so spoiler alert for those
God
who haven't
damn
seen it. It just cuts out to black, and I literally thought that the cable went out. Like I didn't, and the original broadcast, by the way, the black goes on for like a minute. Like when you rewatch it, it's only like a few seconds, and then the credits roll. And I was like, "What the fuck was this? Is so like what is going on?" Well, then once I rewatched it later, I was like, "Well, no, this is the thing that makes sense. This is the only way you can truly take this in."
Yeah.
Logically, like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna watch him die? You're gonna watch, or he's gonna survive. There's gonna be a shootout at the end, and then
Right.
they're gonna.
Well, it's kind of like the ending of Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Same kind of scenario there.
Yeah. I felt that. Did you watch the El Camino movie?
I did.
Like, I felt that wasn't necessary.
No, I actually, you know what? That's again where like I fall for the hype.
Yeah.
Because it was like 2 years after, at least 2 years after years after the show had ended, and then they like promoted it in such a way, or the Breaking Bad movie. Oh shit, you know what I mean? They're bringing back Aaron Paul, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait for this. And then it's basically just like, to me, it was just like a giant letdown. It was like, what the fuck is this? Like,
Yeah.
but again, anything that's like that big of a property, it's easy to just fucking just be let down by.
Yeah. Because he escapes. Spoiler alert again.
God damn it!
He escapes to Alaska, and that's it.
Right.
Which I was kind of hoping at the end of Better Call Saul. I think I mentioned this on the last episode, but so when I was watching it, I thought there was only 5 seasons because there's only 5
On
seasons
Netflix.
on Netflix right now.
Right.
So I'm getting to the last couple episodes of season 5. I'm like, man, are they just going to leave this pretty loose and then just have Walter White show up and be like, the end? I didn't realize there was a 6th season. So
Yeah.
I get to that last episode, I was like, this is how it ends? This is where we're going with this? And so I look it up. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. And I realize, like, oh, there's a whole other season and a half, basically.
Yeah.
And I watched that, and I don't know. I'm like, it's a logical ending, but I was like, did I really need all that? Like, I liked the understanding of what was happening pre Walter White,
Right.
but then the ending of what happened to Saul Goodman was like, I didn't really care. I didn't really care about.
I'm just
all that.
gonna. I'm trying not to listen to any of this.
I know. I'm ruining all this.
You're
for
ruining
you.
everything
You
for
want
me.
to know a show that everybody fucking loved and ate up, and I thought was fucking horrible?
Rugrats?
Honestly, I didn't.
Yeah.
Rugrats was terrible. So you know what was worse than that was Doug.
Oh my God, Doug is the worst.
Doug
loves Doug.
I
Doug
hate Doug.
is literally one of the worst shows. Like I went back and watched it. I'm like, this is like
Which Doug did you watch? Disney Doug or Nickelodeon Doug?
There's a Disney Doug. I
Yeah.
don't know what that is. That's
Yeah, once the Nickelodeon one ended, Disney bought it and
Yeah.
put it on
Oh,
ABC for a while.
careless. Yeah, the Nickelodeon Doug was like. I grew up with like Ren and Stimpy.
Yes.
Like to me that was like. And
See, I didn't like Ren and Stimpy.
Pee Wee's Playhouse and like
I like
I
Rocco.
had weird shit. Rocco was great, dude. But Doug was just like, you big fucking sissy. Like, what is this stupid fucking show? Like, I hated Doug. And yeah, looking back as an adult too, it was like, I only watched this because there wasn't anything else to watch on TV. Probably like this is fucking horrible. But no, The Walking Dead. I waited until there was like 3 or 4 seasons and everybody was fucking all about it. And I went and watched the first episode and I'm like, okay, this is probably gonna be sweet. And I sat there and binge watched the whole first season, and I just couldn't do it. I was like, this is fucking horrible. The acting was horrible.
Yeah.
The zombies were just like really fucking comical in my opinion.
I've
Like,
never watched it, but like people say that there's like crazy. I mean, it's unrealistic anyway, but it's crazy unrealistic scenarios that like just happen, and you're like, wait, how? Like, there's a fucking dumpster episode that was like huge, and they're like, how did this guy survive?
Yeah.
It's like, I guess he was in a dumpster with like all of them around or some shit, and he survives it or some it's crazy
Well,
shit. I'm like, oh, what?
My biggest complaint is it's still on.
Yeah,
It hasn't ended.
no, I thought that's been over.
No, they got like 11,
they had a
12 seasons.
spin-off too.
What?
Yeah.
I thought that was
Like-
it has to be like just the spin-off.
I'm,
It can't be
no.
original.
It's. I believe it's for real. I'll double check it right now.
dude.
I want to say there's like 11 or 12 seasons on this thing.
Dude, I think it was Netflix. That Last of Us show that came out. Did you watch it?
I heard that it's HBO.
Dude,
I heard that's good.
I want to play the game first.
it's like I
but-
wanted to like it because the actor.
Mm-hmm.
I like that actor. He was great in Game of Thrones. I just like that guy, so it's like I really want to like it. But that's one of those shows too where it's like just all filler.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the characters don't get developed very well. The story doesn't really move anywhere, and it's like 8 episodes of just like the most obvious padding filler.
So, okay, I was correct. It did recently end. They had 11 seasons. The last 2
Too
seasons,
many seasons
though,
anyway.
Yeah, well, even get this. So all their seasons were long as fuck. 16 the first season was only 6 episodes. Second season 13. From season 3 to season. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, season 3 to season 9, they were 16 episodes apiece. Most are 10, and then season 10, 22 episodes. Season 11 was 24 episodes.
Jesus
Like,
Christ.
Yeah, you're telling a linear story, like a story that goes in one direction through time. You can't have that many fucking episodes and seasons.
It's
Like,
insane.
Yeah, that's just.
And then it just ends. It just ended on season 11 with, I guess, with a spinoff. I guess I don't even know how. Yeah, there is a spinoff of Fear
The Walking Dead.
Fear the Walking Dead, or Walking Dead World Beyond, 10 episode limited series, Tales of the Walking Dead, Dead City.
Yeah, but as much as I like the Game of Thrones property, that's what they're heading to do right now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But we'll see how they do, because like that. I don't know if you watched that first season of House of the Dragon. It's
no.
phenomenal.
Oh, is it?
It's amazing. It's really good. Like every episode was really well done. The casting is really good. Everything about it's good. But it's like, all right, okay, we got a a prequel spin-off series. And they just announced another prequel series that they're releasing, and a follow-up series about Jon Snow. So it's like, okay, so now we're gonna have 4 shows.
Oh, that's
all
right,
based
'cause-
on
Well,
this.
it's like I've never watched Power either, but they got like 5 spin-offs too, but I heard they're all good.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Well, I hear a lot about that show too. But
I mean, I don't. Maybe I shouldn't be such a fucking jaded, cynical asshole of a person, but like, I don't know. It's hard to believe that like you can, you know what I mean, make that much content on one property and
Yeah.
keep it all together.
I would
and good.
almost rather do that because we've talked about like remakes, like movie remakes and shit. I would rather have them like take like a character from a movie
Right.
and make a movie about that guy instead of just remaking the fucking
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah,
true. Yeah, I would
like
like.
a Doc Brown movie.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that would
That'd
be.
be sick,
yeah.
dude.
I've talked about it before with certain movies where I want so much more information on their character. I know I've talked about it on the stream, and when we do the stream, we can revisit this conversation because I know everybody loves it. There's certain characters like in Boogie Nights. Have you guys seen Boogie Nights?
I seen it like once. Way
Yeah.
back when it came
The
out, but
Todd Parker character, the guy who gets he's like the cool guy that enters the group, gets them all on drugs and everything. He's the guy at the end who does the bad drug deal and ends up getting killed.
spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler. I'm sorry. It's a
damn it.
30-year-old movie, but
No,
it's getting there. It was like 97.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Or you
Yeah.
do like a prequel to fucking Home Alone and focus on the wet bandits.
Yeah, that would be. I think that
Ooh,
would be
that'd be
good.
sick.
You know?
Yeah, there would.
Oh,
Like
man.
how they became criminals.
I want to know more about. I want to know about. Todd Parker. I know I was talking about on the stream with the character Jim Pembry from the Silence of the Lambs series. I want to know about this officer of the law that everybody loves so much. There's so much. There's so many potentials, and we're wasting all of this good, money, throwing it after more Jon Snow material when we could be looking at Jim Pembry from Silence of the Lambs. There's a character there. We need to know more about it. We need to dig into it.
Yeah, but
Or
he's not as handsome as Kit
dude,
Harington.
you could have
so.
fucking Napoleon Dynamite prequel with Uncle Rico.
I think they're going to do that.
With Uncle Rico?
I heard they're going to make an Uncle Rico movie or something.
Yeah, so they should.
Yeah.
Give his story.
I mean, there's a lot of stories we could do. Well, listen,
This has been
this has been big.
this has been big.
This has been a big one.
This has been as big as an alien dildo in your
I
ass
was thinking that,
shitting
yeah.
out
Yeah.
eggs.
Yeah.
We've covered so much information. I think there's a lot. We've given a lot of material that people can go and try to better themselves with.
Absolutely.
They've
Yes.
learned a lot, and there's a lot of good ideas out there.
Indeed.
And I don't think anybody's going to be too upset about it.
No, it was a genuine service that was done for the public.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is you know what?
A public service announcement.
This is. I know this is going to come out in later in the week, but this was recorded right before Easter. This is an Easter service.
Yes.
This is the belated Easter basket gift.
L'chaim.
L'chaim. Yeah, we actually held hands and said a prayer before the show
Yep.
started.
Hey, he's risen.
Yep.
Even though he's got a cage on him, he's risen.
Hey, if that cock cage isn't, if that key isn't around some woman's neck,
Yep.
What is love?
Exactly. That's what I have to say.
So,
And this was sponsored by Bud Light.
Yes.
yes.
The-
But I'd like to thank Cowabunga for coming on.
absolutely.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me, guys.
Check him out on Twitch. You want to plug a Twitch?
Twitch.tv/ the Cowabunga Dude.
Yep. Get at it.
Yep.
Super Crew Plus. Subscribe.
Yep.
Get that in
if
your
you
life.
Don't, man, you're making a giant mistake there.
Giant mistake.
Yep.
Yep.